Hello friends, welcome to the next session. Today we'll talk about normal forms, right? We talked about predicate logic, we talked about propositional logic and all. Now, whenever we are representing any statement or sentence using a propositional logic or predicate logic, sometimes the statements or the sentences become too complex. So normal form is what reducing that complex statement into set of clauses so that we can apply the resolution techniques what we'll be learning further to the statements easily, right? So this is what we'll be learning, and this video is a very small one. We are just talking about the steps we need to follow to convert any statement into a particular normal form. Fine. There are literally 8 statements, 8 rules or steps, and depending on the type of the problem, all may not be necessary to apply, but few can be applied, or sometimes okay all. So let us start. To solve a complex problem, which is represented using a set of well-formed formulas we already seen in the previous lecture, we need to reduce WFF into a set of clauses. Now, so what we're doing in the normal form is it's a technique for representing a complex sentence into simple sentences so that resolution can be applied. Fine. So we'll be having our statement, and that statement we need to reduce it into set of clauses so that it gets in a particular normal form, and then resolution technique can be applied to it. So in this video, we'll just look at the steps which can be followed. Now, the very first step what we have is the steps for converting a sentence into clauses for reduction to normal form. The very first step what we have is elimination of biconditional connective, what we already seen in predicate as well as propositional logic, right? So if the statement is having a biconditional connective, you can replace that statement by this, because what it says A implies B and B implies A. So instead of using this biconditional connective, what we are using the implication and operator. Is it fine? This is elimination of biconditional connective, the first step. Fine. The second step what we have is replacing if an operator by negation and or operator. Now, if then is nothing but your implication, so it is elimination of implication connective. So how we eliminating the implication connective? A implies B, which is equivalent to not A or B, right? We are eliminating the implication by making not A or B. So this is identical to this. So implication is eliminated. Similarly, if I want to remove implication from this statement, then this is what I'll get. So instead of A implies B, I'll just simply make it as negation of A or B, and remains as it is again negation of B or A. Is it clear? Step 2. Step 1 is elimination of biconditional connective. Step 2 is elimination of implication connective. So in biconditional connective, what we do, we just simply say A implies B and B implies A. In elimination of implication, we just use negation and or operator. Let us look at the third step. Now the third step is what? Move negation inward. Move negation inward in the sense, if the negation is outside the brackets, move it inside. So reduce scope of each negation to single term or literal. Single term means this or this, right? Not to the bracket. Move all negations inward such that in the end, negations only appear as part of literals. If you look at here, it is negation outside the bracket A and B. So this, you can move it inside and make it identically like it can be similar to negation of A or negation of B. Fine, negation of A, negation of B. Look at the statement carefully. Here we had negation outside the bracket, inside what we have A and B. But when you take the negation inside, this and becomes or. Is it fine? This and becomes or. Similarly, if you have negation of A or B, it becomes negation A and negation B. So or becomes and here. Now, negation of for all x A can be identical to there exists x negation of A. So universal quantifier is replaced by existential quantifier whenever you are moving the negation inside. Similarly here, existential quantifier will be replaced by universal quantifier. Is it fine? Now, negation of end is or, negation of or is end, and negation of negation, that is double negation, is elimination of negation. It only becomes A, right? So negation A is identical to A. I hope step 3 is clear. Moving negation inward. Next, what we have, standardizing the variable so that each quantifier binds a unique variable. Standardizing the variable so that each quantifier binds a unique variable. Now, how do we do that? We rename the variables within the scope of the quantifier. Now, if you look at here, for all x, we have px, and for all x, we have qx, right? Now, what we are doing is, with these universal quantifiers, which are bounded to a single same variable, we are going to change it, right? So we are going to rename it. So this x will be renamed as y. So for all x, px, and for all y, this will be qy, right? So this is nothing but standardizing the variable so that each quantifier has a unique variable associated with it. Because here you had the same variable, but here you have different variable with each quantifier. Fine. Let us move to the next step. Now what next step says? Moving all quantifiers in the front of the expression. That is, moving all quantifiers to the front of the formula or the statement without changing their order. Remember, the order should remain same. So here, if you look at it, for all x, px, or for all y, qy. The same thing what we had in the previous slide, if you look at here. Right now, we are applying step 5 to this. Now, what we are doing here, we are just moving out all the quantifiers to the beginning of the formula. So what we did here, for all x, for all y is removed out, and now we have px or qy. It's that simple. Only thing is we also maintain the order. So for all x is appearing first, and then for all y. So it is for all x comes here, and then for all y. So when you have a statement in this form, then it is also known as Premix normal form. Of course, we'll take an example in the next lecture to make the Premix normal form more clear. The next step what we have is columnization. So what it is elimination of existential quantifier, right? So replacing existential quantifier as column constant or column function. So here there exists x, right? X is rich, right? Now what we do, this x variable, we replace it with a constant. Replacing x with a column constant. So here what we are doing, we are writing rich Ans. Ans is the name of a person, right? So here we replaced x with actual name of the person. You can write anything here, but I've just written the name as Ans. So this is replacing or eliminating existential quantifier using a column constant. Similarly, you'll be using column function also. So again, for all x, there exists y. Now p of x comma y, which can be identical to, for all x, p x comma f of x. Now this is fx is nothing but it's a column function, right? We are replacing this by a column function. So here value of y that satisfies p depends on the particular value of x. The next what we have is step 7. It's very simple. Here you are going to drop the universal quantifier. Dropping of universal quantifier is very simple. Just write it like this. So you directly eliminate universal quantifier for all x, and you directly write person x. The last step, that is step 8, which is also known as conjunction or disjunction. This is distributive law. You apply distributive law. So given this statement, P or Q and R, which can be identical to P or Q and P or R. So this is nothing but conjunction of disjunction, right? It is similar to in maths. If you have 2 into bracket x plus y, when you expand it, what you do, 2x plus 2y. So similarly here, P or Q and P or R, which is nothing but conjunction of disjunction. Thank you. I hope it is clear what we did. We looked at the 8 steps, what we followed. The first step was very simple. What we did, we eliminated a biconditional connective, then implication connective eliminated, then we took the negation inside, then we took the quantifiers outside in the formula, then we eliminated the quantifiers, right? And then what we did, we applied the distributive law. In the next videos, we'll look at the examples in detail, which will be using these steps. I hope it is clear. Thank you.